As you can imagine, it was very hard for a lot of these people, those survivors this morning, many forced to relive the moments that their lives changed forever. That, in fact, I've been speaking with a number of family members and friends as they walk into the courthouse this morning. And obviously, this has been a devastating incident for them to go through. The clerk says he had no other choice. It was a very dangerous situation. That crook caught red-handed walking right through the front doors here on surveillance cameras. He is, let me tell you, and I feel for him. We've been riding along the route in our car, kind of watching him run. He's inspiring us this morning. He calls himself Veteran X. And as we've been kind of following you this morning, we've noticed that a lot of folks have been kind of honking. They see you running with the flag. How does that make you feel just to have that support for what you're doing this morning? Very important to point out this morning. Now, I just got off the phone with the lead investigator in this case about 10 minutes ago, and he tells me there's been no movement in this case overnight. But here's exactly what investigators want to know. Now, this woman was last seen Sunday, but her boyfriend waited at least a day to report her missing.
So you can put them on, and then you can hold your beverage, go to a sporting event or to a live theater or a concert. Whoa! I think if you can't afford expense, if you can't afford expense.
You know, this is unimaginable. Many of the people at this concert were actually teens, some younger. We can confirm this morning that 22 people were killed and more than 60 others injured. A lot of their parents were actually waiting outside the arena to pick them up. I want to show you guys something. This is the cover this morning of the Manchester Evening News. These are some of the victims still missing this morning. This is a very disturbing case. Investigators are looking into the possibility that this teacher may have molested 3 students, all young girls, inside of this school, in fact. And this morning, investigators are worried that there could possibly be more victims. That is something that they're investigating this morning. This morning, investigators are trying to figure out exactly how those 2 kids got their hands on that gun. Now, a 17-year-old has been charged in connection with this case. He was supposed to be watching those 2 kids, and he brought that gun into the home. This is certainly an emotional time for the families as well as those surviving victims, many back here at the club today for the first time since that attack. A very touching moment grabbing the hearts of loved ones, 49 angels representing those lost.
Nothing like this should have ever been allowed to happen. It's just monsters walking the streets, and one of them just walked into this club a year ago and for no good reason at all decided to open fire. And then 49 families will never be the same.
Invited guests allowed inside the gates. The owner of the club, along with Orlando's mayor, with words remembering the victims. Loved ones telling us being here is hard, but one step closer to healing.
It's painful because you just want to be able to hug them, you know? Like, you have all these families that are missing them, but it is, at the same time, it's so good to see so many people here supporting each other.
When I initially heard pop pop.
Some surviving victims like Tampa native Amanda Grau shot 4 times, still recovering, not only physically, but mentally as well. Every day remembering good friend Christopher Sanfelice, who never made it out.
Think about what else could I have done to save my friend Chris, and hoping and wishing that I could have just was able to run back to him.
The focus for loved ones now, honoring the lost, living life every day to the fullest in their memories. Reporting in Orlando, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Despite all of this, they're in pretty good spirits this morning. Obviously, this is something that they've been dealing with for nearly 3 years now. The family members I spoke with this morning say they hope that this verdict basically brings a bit of closure to everyone involved.
It's been a very painful 2.5 years. A lot of anticipation, a lot of waiting.
For loved ones of Reverend James Tripp Battle, the pain still fresh. Bill Smith and his wife Judy, not only members of his congregation, but family friends since Battle was just a child.
We had a lot of respect for him, a lot of admiration. He was a good man.
He loved his wife and he loved his kids.
The Smiths, along with a host of loved ones, filing into the Manatee County Courthouse this morning as the penalty phase begins in the Andres Avalos trial. Avalos found guilty over the weekend in the killing of his wife Amber, along with neighbor Denise Potter and Reverend Battle. Prosecutors say Avalos killed the 3 in a jealous rage, claiming his wife and the Reverend were having an affair. As the jury makes a life or death decision regarding Avalos's fate, loved ones believing the verdict is a step towards closure.
He was a man who loved God, loved his family. Yeah, good man.
And this is very tragic for the family, but we're hoping they'll get some peace through this verdict.
And of course, this is a story we will continue to follow throughout the day, waiting for that decision. We do have a reporter inside the courtroom right now, Jake Peterson, following this. Of course, when that decision comes down, we'll bring it to you. You can follow updates throughout the day on our website, abcactionnews.com, or our free ABC Action News mobile app. For now, reporting live in Manatee County this morning, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. In fact, a number of these allegations were actually made about 4 years ago. Now, we spoke with parents who are simply shocked that this teacher would still be allowed to work for the school district.
It's horrible. I think that is the most disgusting thing you can do. I mean, you're here teaching middle school kids. Like, what type of example are you putting on?
Hillary Kills with a sentiment shared among Meadowlawn Middle School parents this morning, shocked by the arrest of science teacher Joseph Vanalnik. Vanalnik accused of molesting 3 different young girls on campus, the oldest just 14. Detectives starting the investigation after one of the girls told her parents. The first allegations were told going back at least 4 years.
Because he was a teacher, there's always the possibility that there could be more victims.
Police and parents now urging any possible victims to come forward.
Like, talk to the kids, let the kids know it's okay to speak up if something is happening, because this is sickening.
And the district says regardless of the outcome of this case, that teacher will not be allowed inside of the classroom. In fact, he will not be allowed to work for the district again. He's doing court this afternoon at 1:30. Of course, we will be there and we'll bring you updates as we get them. For now, reporting live in St. Pete, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. That's very important to point out this morning. Now, I just got off the phone with the lead investigator in this case about 10 minutes ago, and he tells me there's been no movement in this case overnight. But here's exactly what investigators want to know. Now, this woman was last seen Sunday, but her boyfriend waited at least a day to report her missing, and they simply can't understand why.
No, she's not a person that would just run away.
Loved ones of 28-year-old Yanela Lorente hoping for the best, but fearing the worst this morning.
Something happened to her. Somebody kidnapped her. Somebody did something to her.
Police and families say Lorente has no history of running away, and family members tell us something just doesn't add up.
She's not a person that would leave just because of an argument. She would stay and talk. It's not like her to do this.
The last contact anyone had with her was a text message with a relative Sunday evening. Her car was found not far from her Haines City home near a wildlife reserve.
It's very suspicious because one of the reasons is she usually talks to her mom every day. She has not spoke to her mom since Sunday. That's suspicious. We have an ATM card. She hasn't used that. That's suspicious. So the longer this goes on and we can't find her, we're certainly going to suspect foul play.
And that's something no one wants to hear. Obviously, everyone hoping for the best in this case. But investigators also tell us that the woman's cell phone has been turned off. As I mentioned, investigators did search her home last night. Of course, we'll be checking with them throughout the day to discover exactly what they found and if it could possibly help them in this case and possibly help them to locate this young woman. For now, reporting live in Haines City, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Veteran X is what he calls himself. One man's mission to give of himself, raising awareness on this Memorial Day to really make a difference. With every step, John Goldner hoping to make an impact, pounding the pavement 45 miles this Memorial Day, all for disabled veterans, also to serve as an example.
I want people to do something extraordinary for someone else for no other reason than just to do it.
He started the journey at 4 a.m. We were there with him, the American flag and a 30-pound pack in tow. He estimates he'll be on the streets until around midnight.
I'm going to be on Alt 19 between St. Petersburg and Dunedin the whole day today, most of the day today.
He admits it certainly won't be easy. It will, though, be worth it.
The encouragement helps, the people honking at me. That really helps because I usually start slow, kind of hitting a wall right now. It happens.
One man's mission to give back with every ounce he has. And we'll continue to follow his mission and his journey throughout the day. Of course, if you would like to find out more, potentially help yourself, even donate, we've got all the important information you need on our website. Simply head on over right now to abcactionnews.com. Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News.